Jeff, and today we're going to go through how to mix this song. In particular, you can find the multi-tracks to this song in the link on screen, in the card that I'm putting up in the corner, and in the description of this video. You can download it, put it into your DAW, and mix around with it, or you can follow along with me. Today we're going to work on drums. Next video we'll tackle strings, then vocals, then getting the submixes up, and yeah, so basically going to take you through the processing that I did, and hopefully you learned something along the way, and we can learn together. If you have suggestions in the comments, I'll read them, I'll take them to heart, and see how we do. So let's go ahead and just listen to the drums right now. So if we start from here. I'm going to turn off all the processing I have. Alright, so this is what it sounds like when you get it in. When you first get it in. So let's go ahead and listen to that kick by itself. To me it sounds super hollow, and yeah, like that's something that I would need to fix right away. So I throw on Shep's Omni channel, which gives it this click sound right here, and we're gonna fill in the rest of it using the other microphones, but right now I just want the punch of it. So I raised the saturation, gave myself some filters over here. I'm actually gonna give myself a little more, and put the thump at 4, but 2's fine. I just instinctively clicked 4. Alright, and then we have this gate here, which is what's taking away all of it. Alright, so over close all the way up. Attack's pretty fast, release is pretty fast. I want the attack fast so we can get the full transient in the beginning, and the release is fast so that I don't get any of the cymbal. Although this isn't sounding too bad. Alright, from there we have this double de-esser. So this first one is taking away this frequency here, because the snare was just so much. This is without it. With it. So you can really hear the crack of the snare not bleeding through anymore. And then the second one, I believe, is just high-end stuff that I was lightly taking back. Alright. And then we have EQ. Added a little bit of air over here. A little more thump here. Taking away a little more of the snare, and adding a little bit of click from the kit. And then here I actually put in the API 2500 compressor as the first main compressor. So let me turn off this compressor. This is without the compression. With. so it's really punching in. You see I have a slow attack here so that it leaves that transient alone but still pulls everything else in. And a release fast enough to give it time to pull back. Analog on because that's... I don't... Right? And then we have this compressor here, which, if I put it at 100% mix, I'm really just crushing it. Crushing this kick even more. So if I turn this mix knob, I'll be able to keep that low end that I'm losing here. And, but still keep that crushed sound. And then right here, I just gain stage, which I don't usually do. Truthfully, I don't usually gain stage, but I felt for the kick I really needed to, especially since I knew I was going to use this next one, which is the Shep's Parallel. And I needed this to I needed to give this plugin some room to breathe, which I also gain staged. Kind of. Looking at it. Do that. So I have the sub frequency at 53, and I'm really cranking that in. So this is a really weird looking plugin, but it works really well. Raised the thickness a lot, added a little bit of air so it can still breathe, you know, it's still air moving through the air. Yep, that's the kick, and then we're gonna add in our snare top. The first thing I did is something that I learned from a mixer, I believe, Jacob Hansen, I believe his name is. And he does this to get rid of the ultra high end of the top snare, to get rid of the hi-hat. This is just a multiband compressor going upwards. It's upwards compression, so it's basically multiband expander at this point, and once it gets there, it'll go back up. Right, and then we have this SSL channel over here where I just kind of EQ'd it. I believe also using similar settings that Jacob used, and I just tweaked it around to get my no, actually, I think I did this myself. Yeah. And there's a ring coming through that actually I might be keen on getting rid of. So, I'm gonna go ahead and use the Pro Q3. Find it. So I'm just gonna loop this section right here so I can find it. Right, so it's right there. Gonna use rather strong bandpass. Yep, there we go. I could also notch it. Let me see how it sounds notched. But can you guys hear that? Is the this frequency right here. I'm taking that out. Just to tighten it up a little bit more. Alright. And then I have a compressor here to give it. I use the shotgun snare preset in the Pro compressor from Avid. But feel free to steal any of my settings. I'm gonna keep plugins up for a little bit. feel free to steal some settings if you would like. Usually the only thing I adjust with this preset is the release time, because I think the release time usually stays up here, and I don't like how slow it releases. So I try to move the release time for it to be gone before the next hit, for sure. Like by the time the hit ends, I want that to be gone. And then I put in some of the dry signal just to parallel it, and then a snare verb, which is muted right now. Now, alone, it sounds stupid, really. The snare verb I use is actually Revibe 2, something I've been doing lately because of a mixer named Taylor Larson. So these are his settings that I stole, that I use on my snare. And I'm only using it a little bit here because I don't need a lot of it. And then I just take that and copy it over to my snare, the bottom snare. Speaking of bottom snare, let's go ahead and take a listen to the bottom snare without any processing. So, with that, we're getting something simple. It's simple enough. But it's not great. So, turn on this SSL, kill all the bleed. Just like that. Adding a lot of this up here. Taking away a little bit of 3K. Which is weird, because that's what I added here. Sometimes you don't realize the things you do. You just do what sounds right to you. I'm adding a little bit of this for some body, not really thump, and some 200. Yeah. And then of course analog on, because why wouldn't you turn on the analog, Also have a compressor going. Right on. And then just two of them together. Up. So without the bottom snare. With. It just kind of completes it, and then we add in the kick. See, right now I'm hearing a little ring in the kick, so we're gonna find it, get rid of it. It's the one. Notch. There we go. This whole mixing game is just listening again, realizing you messed up, doing it all over again. That's kick and snare, That's actually honestly the easier bits. So let's go ahead and listen to the toms. I think this is probably the best place to put it. Yep. So let's listen to this first tom. Boom, boom. So, like we did with the kick, we're gonna turn on Shep's Omni. We're gonna use the gate. It's more of an expander because I'm not really killing it over here. But I'm really saturating this one. Thump definitely a 4. A bit of a tighter filtering with this, and this de-esser here. So everything above this is getting rid of it as much as possible. Without it sounding, empty. I didn't EQ it here because I knew I was going to use the Fab Filter EQ and then this compressor here. And like I said earlier, I don't usually gain stage, and I could, theoretically. But I'm not gonna, because sometimes I like my plugins to clip. And after our Sheps, we have our EQ. So I was hearing that the crack of the snare was still too much, so I used the dynamic EQ to get rid of that. I'm boosting pretty much all of it, but the main focus is this guy right here. Might actually close this a little more. Yeah. And then, of course, high pass, low pass. Just to tighten it up, because I know I'm going to get a lot of the sound out of the overheads out of the room. So, I have that there. And then, of course, this thing is so good on drums. I love it so much. So this is without it. With it. Without it. With it. It doesn't sound like a lot of a difference, but this thickening right here is a lot. I added some sub, not a lot, just some. And then did basically the same processing with the lower tom, except without the gate, because for some reason it just wouldn't work. But I did use the de-esser and the compressor here. And then same thing, cleaned up this guy. And here you can really hear it booming through. And then, of course, we use Shep's Parallel to really, really get it boom. And you can hear it's not great. It's a little muffled. If I add some air, it probably would help. Do that. But with all of this, right? That's the whole kit again. And then we move on to hi-hats. Or not hi-hats, overheads. So I use the preset in Pro Q3, the dynamic drums, this guy, and then I tweaked it a little bit. So we're getting rid of some of that low end, trying to cut the mud because we already have a lot of it down there. And we're really making the top sizzle. I think this is where I put the snare drum. Yep. All of this. We're really trying to kill these down here. Right. So, with that, as well as the drum room, let's just listen to the room. Right? So this is another one where I use dynamic preset, because these are pretty good, and sometimes I don't know what to do with the rooms, and this really helped make it a little more solid, make it somehow a little more natural sounding than this. This made it sound like a bit of a bigger room that, you know, is under control. And then on top of that, I add a reverb. I usually only add the IR verbs to the room tracks, because we give even more space to that room. And I'll usually just automatically send that up to 0. Right, and then we add the overheads, and then we add the whole kit. So, that's my drum processing for this song. Every song is different, of course. And I'm curious to know, how'd you guys process these drums? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.